All right, as promised, then let's take you back now to the developments in Mozambique. We speak to Professor Agostinho Zacarias, who is the chairman of the Center for the Strategic and International Studies at the University of Joaquin Chissano. Good evening to you, Prof, and thank you so much for your time. Let's just start with your reaction first to the court ruling.
No, it's, of course, it's good that we have kind of a verdict, but I'm concerned by the fact that this announcement is not going to please everybody, and demonstrations, or actually the revolt, the popular revolt that we are facing today, it will be continuing, and more people will be dying in the streets, and we're in the brink of destroying the country, and this is my main concern.
And I wonder then, because you say that's your concern, and we've spoken to a number of people as well who say that this is their concern, and I wonder, how do you think then the courts should have handled this one?
Of course, the Constitutional Commission is in a very difficult position, because it did say quite loud and clear that there were irregularities in these elections. And I think this is one of the elections that faced a lot of irregularities. And I think the people were expecting a verdict that takes into account that, more in the sense that it is going to be a political solution rather than a legalistic solution.
So
I think the position...
Pardon me, Prof, pardon me. Did it err then, in your view, when it said that there are irregularities in the electoral process, but saying that these were not enough to influence the final result? So did the court err?
This is a discredited institution. Because the institution has been discredited, and I think it has been accused without addressing, at the moment it was accused as an institution which is a bit partial. And it became clear because they said they didn't get time to go through all the ballots and to analyze all the documents, because they did have, they had little time to dedicate to each of the complaints. So all of that, some people, I think some of the parties and the Podemos in particular, will continue to encourage the supporters to continue with this popular revolt and the demonstrations that end up being violent.
And I suppose, some would say it's also a bit of a concern if they did not have enough time to comb through what they had in front of them, but they then can revise the numbers down and do not see anything wrong quite massively with this one and still declare Frelimo the winner. That also raises a lot of concern for a number of people.
I think there's judging from the numbers of people who are in the streets, because here, I think what needs to be understood is that people took the advantage of elections being held now to voice their concerns about the politics in the country and about the development in the country, about the state of the economy and et cetera. So those ones who did not have a voice because there have not been discussions in the country, they saw the elections as an opportunity to voice those concerns. And they have gone from demonstrations to really a revolt. And that's what needs to be addressed, because the response also to those that revolt has been excessive in using live ammunition, using tear gas to quell the demonstrations, and they have not been good at all.
When you then are looking at, what is happening right now, and one then wonders, what becomes the solution? Where does the country look to now for a potential solution that the people of Mozambique can trust?
We need all the help we can get. I think countries that have gone through the same experience, the same difficulties in the past, when they were faced with these difficulties, they asked for neighboring countries. I remember I used to live in Zimbabwe, and then when there was a crisis in 2008, SADC appointed President Becky to help the country in terms of finding a negotiated solution. I repeat, for the look of the things now, I think a legal argument would not resolve the problem. We need a political solution to the crisis because it will be very difficult to unite again and to earn the trust. Any government which is formed, if it does not take into account all the sensitivities in the country, it will lead to conflict. And things are likely to get worse before they get better.
And when you then, are looking at the situation on the ground now, we do understand that there's a regrouping. Some protesters are also out and about. Is that the case where you are?
Yes, it is. It is. The center of Maputo, I think there is a number of main roads. For instance, N4 is blocked. And I know that there was last week, the authorities in this country and the authorities in South Africa, they were talking about the escorts. But it's very difficult to get to Rizano Garcia and to get to Kumatport. The N1, which is another getaway from Maputo, is also blocked somewhere, and it might find some roadblocks in many other areas. People virtually can't come to work. Today we have and it has been like this for about 2 months. People have not gone regularly to work. So, to give you an example, if you are living in Soweto or in Mamelodi and you wish to come to work, I think the people who all live in that area, they have put roadblocks and preventing people from going in and going out. And there's no way that you can reach Johannesburg, for instance, walking. You need to take a taxi or you need other forms of transport. So this is what is happening in some of the areas. So we need help in order to, people to see the light at the end of the table, the concerns that they have voices. I think the politics of the country, I think they need some kind of promise that the country is changing to the better. And at the moment, with the results that have been announced, there are some people who do not see that coming. They see more of a continuation of the past. And this is one of the problems.
And Prof, if you do have these barricades on the road and people have not been able to go to work for quite some time now, it certainly paints a worrying picture, particularly for the country's ailing economy.
Sure. I think the economy is well affected. Access to the ports. Private companies are paying salaries without earning any profits or making any income. Students are not going to school, and the hospitals, they function without doctors. So I think in a nutshell, we are facing a crisis and we need help to get out of this crisis.
And as you say, it certainly does look like there might need to, be a lot more bodies that get involved with what is happening there. But thank you so much for your time, Prof. Appreciate it. That was Professor Agostinho Zacarias, who is the chairman of the Center for Strategic and International Studies at the University of Joaquin in Chissano.